Herod's day had gone from bad to worse. He had just received some foreign visitors, important visitors from a far off country who had come to visit him and find out where the newborn king was. Herod was perplexed by this. Newborn king? There'd been no newborn king born here. He was the king, and there were no other king. In fact, Herod was someone who was very protective of his throne, and anybody who he deemed to pose any threat to his position, whether they were close family or not, were done away with. He had heard, though, that the Jews would speak of a Messiah, a ruler, a king who would come, and they were looking forward to his coming, and he would raise the fortunes of the Jewish nation. Had this Messiah, had this king been born in his backyard and he hadn't realized it? He needed to make further investigations. And so he called upon the Jewish leaders and their historical experts to come and give him some more information about this expected king, this promised Messiah. The Jewish leaders and experts responded to him and said that one of their prophets over 700 years ago had spoken these words. And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd his people Israel. They were expecting a shepherd king. As I said, Herod was very protective of his throne. He was more executioner king than shepherd king. And so Herod was keen to find out the location of this newborn king so that he could do away with him too. No threat to his throne was allowed to exist. So he spoke to the wise men who had visited him, told them to go on their way and try and find the location of this newborn baby, this newborn king. And once they had, to come back and report to him so that he could visit him too, so that he could pay his respects and worship him too. Not likely, more to do away with him. Herod was all about self-preservation. It was all about making sure he survived, that he was, if you like, king of his life, that he was in control of his life, and that he was in control of his kingdom. He didn't need any king, any Jesus to come along and threaten his position and threaten that situation. And in fact, even though we're sort of 2,000 years on, that's still very much the attitude of our hearts. My life, my rule, my control. No Jesus to come along and threaten that and to claim to be king and have rule and control over our lives. And yet, can I ask you this Christmas, perhaps just to reconsider that position you might hold? The Jesus who came and was born into this world came as a shepherd king, a king who desires to have control in our lives because he wants to care for us. And if you're not convinced by that, then can I ask you to perhaps pick up a Bible and read the story of his life. Read one of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Find out more about this shepherd king who was born into this world to love you and to care for you.